And whereas in recent months, the Dallas Independent School District, through its official administrative spokesman, Dr. Nolan Estes, and is one, exploiting innocent black students, teachers, and principals to the extent of even transporting some to Washington, D.C., under the guise of demonstrating their learning achievement as a prototype of what can be achieved in a segregated school or a one-race school, as is referred to if further supported by federal funds. 2, under the guise of quality education, Dr. Estes is advocating segregated education. 3, the courts have made it crystal clear that desegregated facilities during the current school year of desegregation must maintain its previous year's black-white teacher ratio, which in Dallas was 75-25 last year, or the year before last. This ratio resulted in few black teachers being hired last year, and it is now alleged that Dr. Estes has moved the 1972-73 ratio to 77% white and 23% black. Further, threats of many black teachers in the Dallas system not being hired or being fired in achieving this ratio. Number 4, Dr. Estes has continued to disregard the constitutional rights of students to appeal their grievances and completely ignored the due process of law, resulting in some 12,000 students being expelled and walking the streets in Dallas during the current year, thereby contributing to juvenile delinquency in spite of the fact that we have state compulsory school attendance laws. Further, these actions are contributing to the division and polarization of our community, resulting in mistrust, bitterness, exploited racism, frustration, and racial intolerance. 5, as a public official, his actions have betrayed the public trust and confidence, resulting in boycotts of schools, internal school strifes, lack of teacher sensitivity in dealing with minorities, and in the breakdown of school morale. Further, his lack of publicly upholding the law and order and the implementation of court decisions has resulted in a breakdown in respect for the law by many students.
Well, the problem as I see it was one of some confusion on the part of the officers, which they have acknowledged. They were not aware of the status of the referendum vote, and it is advisory, and it has to be advisory by their bylaws, but they did not know this at first, but that they did know it at the time the vote was taken. And the teachers in the schools were notified that it was an advisory vote. But the power to make the determination resides with their delegate assembly, and that group did vote it overwhelmingly by a 2-to-1 vote. It is my opinion that Superintendent Estes is in clear violation of the First Amendment to the Constitution. He has no right, as the representative of the Board of Education, representing the employer interests of the school district, to interfere with the internal operations of the teachers' organization. His right of freedom of voicing opinions on what the teachers do disappear once he becomes the superintendent of the school district. And I have called the National Education Association Chief Legal Counsel, Mr. Channon, this morning, and from the description of the things that he has said in a statement, Mr. Channon believes that he is in violation of that provision.
Does this mean some action will be taken against him?
That will be up to the Board of Directors of the Classroom Teachers of Dallas. I have talked with the President, Mrs. Howard, and let her know what Mr. Channon thinks. And if the board chooses to take legal action against the superintendent, we would work with them.
What kind of legal action can they take?
Well, first of all, we would ask the courts to enjoin him from any further statements about what the organization is doing, and secondly, to enter into a case if he would pursue this in violation of the injunction, or if we did not get the injunction, then we could pursue it in a court case.
The Personnel Committee met this morning. That's a subcommittee of the school board, and they're thinking of drafting a resolution. Hopefully that will be passed by the board at their next meeting if it's finished at that time. Again, supporting perhaps the position that Dr. Estes has taken and making remarks about the process that CTD has taken and bringing about unification. Do you see this in violation as well?
Yes, I would. I think the school board would be in violation of the law to do that.
The superintendent, in making the statement about the classroom teachers and the NEA, made some statements that fairly strongly denounced the NEA for union tactics, for bringing about, I believe he said, a cash curtailment and a confidence crisis in school districts where the NEA has come in direct contact with the school district. What do you say to statements like that?
Well, number one, I think he's wrong. If we take those cases where the school boards themselves have, through the negotiating process, made commitments that are beyond their resources and then have had to turn to the state legislatures, we will look at the classic cases, and they are in Chicago and New York, and those are both cases where the American Federation of Teachers, AFL-CIO, has done the bargaining. Our units have never pressured school boards into making agreements that are beyond their resources, beyond their known resources. Now, in some cases, school boards will say, we will establish the salaries at this level, and if further money comes from the legislature, then they will be at this level. But he is mistaken. I've heard him make remarks about what we've done in Portland. We are not the negotiating agent in Portland. The American Federation of Teachers is the negotiating agent in Portland.
Why does Dr. Estes feel so strongly about NEA and unification of CTD with NEA?
Well, in looking at Dr. Estes' behavior, he is making the mistake that a number of superintendents have made across the country, and that is the assumption that any power gained by teachers means a loss of power on the part of the superintendent. That power is a fixed quantity, and that has to come from him and the board if the teachers get it. Now, I don't think this is true. I think we know more about power today to know that it's unlimited, and that teachers organized in a powerful group working for the rights of students can enhance the power of the Board of Education if they work together. But from what he is trying to do, it appears to me that he's simply trying to break the organization so that he himself can control the teachers.